Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with a Veve and Ecomi video. In this one, we're going to be covering what's basically taking place this weekend. So we're going to be going over some of the big things. Before we jump into it, I do want to know how you all felt about this weekend. Do you think that it was a success? Do you think that it was a flop, a failure? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your unbiased opinions. How do you feel about this weekend? I know a lot of people were upset, especially people in different time zones and stuff like that. So yeah, just let me hear some thoughts. Let me hear some thoughts, some criticisms, everything. I want to hear everything that y'all got to say down in the comment section. And then like we have some AMAs coming up. We might address some of this stuff in some AMAs, ask some questions, see if we can get some things fixed. I know that there was some type of bug going on with the capture, so that wasn't working. People was concerned about bots and stuff again. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people would be using bots because everyone expected that the capture would be working. So I don't know if you can really even blame bots because people were moving under the assumption that bots weren't going to work anyway. So I don't think that people had bots prepared. But yeah, that's just my assumption. I don't know. I don't have the data. I don't have the facts. I don't know about that. But that being said, let's jump into some of my opinions. So one of the biggest topics was the global friendly drops. Like people were upset that they didn't have global friendly drops. So as you can see here, Mark, the Veve Wiki guy, he says, "I've decided my health is much more important than Veve. My crew and I felt that there would be a drop at 1 a.m. usual Australian time, but I couldn't force myself to stay up that late on a Sunday night / Monday morning. I've done that way too much since March. Look after yourself, Veve fam." And he also said some constructive criticism coming from your community here, Ecomi. Please have more friendly drop times for this side of the world. It's where Daniel and David, etc. are. So surely they'd like it too. This was a big concern. I know I was kind of trolling on Twitter today. Honestly, I would not have even taken place in this last drop. I did get the secret rare. I guess that sparked a lot of a lot of debates and conversations about how easily I got it because I had no idea that there was a drop coming. I just so happened to be streaming at the time, and the stream told me, "Yo, it's a drop. It's a drop coming in 5 minutes. Get on, get on." Like I'm like, "Oh, why not? I'll go for it." So I decided to do it live on stream, and I got it. But then that sparked the conversations of people saying that they do the same thing, but in their country their internet's not as good or something, so they can't get it. Like, and then you have the drop times and stuff. That's been another big concern for people. So I agree and I disagree when it comes down to the global friendly drop. So let me tell you all what I disagree with. They said that the Comic-Con exclusive drops should have been spread out around different times. I disagree with that. This was an American event. Like that, the Comic-Con that this was based around, this entire event was based around, was in San Diego. So it should have been on American time. That's how the event goes. Because let's take into consideration the real world. If you all were going to go and buy something from the Comic-Con in the real world, you would have had to fly from whatever country you're in, come to America, and then attend that event that way. So it's really no difference here. You would have had to be on American time regardless if you wanted to get whatever you were going to get. So this event was based around that event. It's the same thing. Now, if they held an event in Asia somewhere where it puts us at a disadvantage, I 100% agree that we should need to be on the Asian time because it does not make sense for you to go to an Asian event and you're on American time. That just makes absolutely no sense. So I'm fair. I'm okay with like. So that's why I kind of disagree with the fact that these Comic-Con exclusive drops should have been like at different times or something like that. No, it should have been at the time where Comic-Con was going on because that's the whole thing that influenced this and had these things going on. So yeah, I disagree in the sense that those times should have been changed. But I do agree with the fact that we should have early and late drops. I agree with that. But this is also, I don't know why this is a big conversation or a big topic either, because Dan and the team have already said that that's the goal. I don't know if you all remember this, but I've talked about it a few times. They said the goal is to have drops on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning and at night. So two times a day on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we were going to be getting 4 drops a week. But obviously we have to get up to that point. Vivi has already said that that's the goal. So I don't know why people are kind of like I guess this drop is frustrating that a lot of people went the whole weekend without getting anything, but this is an American event. Like this was an event in America. So it's going to be that type of event. So I feel like the criticism, like how tough the criticism was this time around, as if you didn't know that this was an American event, I don't feel like that's deserved. But obviously, then the people concerned about having drops at better times is coming. It's going to come as well. Like I just feel like people are getting impatient, especially seeing people get cool things. So I mean, they already confirmed that we're gonna have some more drops at different times. They already said that's on the way. But obviously, we have the move to immutable coming. We have some more exchanges. Like we have stuff that they're working on. So we don't know when they're gonna have the amount of content to do 2 drops on Tuesdays and 2 drops on Thursdays like that. This is what I mean when I be telling y'all I don't know about the my biggest concern for this project is going to be the content. It's all content based. I understand people saying things like, yo, they hire in studios, they can hire it's only so much that they can hire a studio to do. First off, their funds are not unlimited, even though they're making a lot of money. Their funds are not unlimited, and they're also not the only client. They're not the only client these studios work with. So if these studios are working on Call of Duty and you're hiring them to make something for the Vivi app, obviously Call of Duty is probably going to take priority over Vivi. Like, so it's like, yeah, it's not like they need to expand their team. So this is why I think content is going to be a bigger deal than people realize. I think content is really the only problem here, because if they had the content to do 2 drops a day, 2 times a week, if they had that content, this whole problem wouldn't even be a problem right now. But they just don't have enough content to do this. So yeah. That being said, I definitely agree with the early and late drops. We need those 2 drops, but that has already been confirmed. So yeah, that's not really that big of a deal. It's just a matter of patience. It's just like the tokenomics, the token utility being added. Yeah, it's huge. It's going to be very impactful, but it's already been confirmed. We just have to wait on it. Same thing with immutable. We just have to wait on it. It's like we know the plans. We know where things is going. Now, the next topic. Comic-Con exclusive drops were a letdown. Now, this is something that's been said around the community, and I get it. I get where people are coming from. No one even knows. Well, a lot of people don't know who these guys are. Like I'm not a collector, so I just learned about all these guys. So I'll be honest with you all. When I thought of Comic-Con, when I heard that Vivi was going to be at Comic-Con, I'm thinking, oh yeah, now's the time to reveal Marvel. Now's the time to get some Iron Man, maybe some X-Men, maybe Star Trek or something. They were even teasing Star Trek. It seemed like they were teasing Star Trek to me. Like I thought, okay, maybe we're going to get a surprise Star Trek drop. Like something. I thought something that's notable. I'm not going to say something good, but something notable, because yeah, the drops today is cool. It's very good. These are like, you don't. This is how I feel. This is my honest opinion. You don't go to Comic-Con to reveal Artist Alley people. You go to Comic-Con to drop the big dogs. Like at least that was my mindset. Like I thought we would get something big. I thought we would get big things at Comic-Con. Like waiting for Comic-Con to drop Artist Alley. That's not really my cup of tea. It's not what I expected, but I mean, I'm not angry with the drops, but I just feel like Comic-Con was not really the time to do that. I don't feel like Comic-Con was the time to do that. I feel like that would have came. That's one of those drops that could have came somewhere else. But maybe, honestly, maybe that could have been something that changed last minute as well. This could have been something that, like, maybe, because we know that Marvel and them pulled out. So we know that Marvel and DC Comics pulled out of certain parts of the event. So maybe this was just one of those situations where this was the only drop that they were left with. So if they had all Marvel and DC stuff lined up, and then Marvel and DC decided not to go, then everything that they had planned could have potentially just not been. They couldn't release it. So yeah, that could have been the way that this went. But I can understand why people are saying that the drops were a letdown. The drops were a letdown, obviously, because a lot of people couldn't go for them. But the drops were a letdown in the sense where, okay, we waited for Comic-Con for this. Like it was really super hyped. Like we was going to see some really notable brands or something like that. And half the drops is really not stuff that anyone knows about, except for obviously we knew about Jaws. We knew about Back to the Future. I think a lot of people know about those two brands, but yeah, outside of that, it's like I don't know. It's questionable. So I just feel like it wasn't the right setting for that. But I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what their vision is. So I'm still trusting them. But I can see why people would not be so happy with how this weekend went in that regard. Um, but last but not least, the metaverse. My opinion on the metaverse. The metaverse, in my opinion, was really good. I think it delivered on what they were trying to accomplish, and that's really just showing people the type of metaverse that's in their mind. Because people have been downplaying the metaverse as if, oh, don't expect it to be at this level. Don't expect this. Don't expect that. They showed you. They just showed us what they expect, what they're working on, and what they're trying to make happen, and they wanted to be at a better quality because Veve, keep in mind, Veve made it clear that that is not the Veveverse. They made it very, very clear that that's not the Veveverse. And obviously, there was a lot of quality issues that makes it pretty clear. And I think that that's one of the biggest things. People realize that there's a quality difference. Like, we're used to just insane quality, and that quality was not insane. The quality was okay. It was decent, but that's not the quality we're used to. So, um, all in all, I think the metaverse was pretty good. I think it was a success. I think it perfectly executed what they were trying to. So I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of what they did. Um, Once again, I can get why people would not be happy with it. Some people couldn't even get in and things like that. But also that goes back down to the company that they were working with. That's just like that's not something. Veve is very conscious about making sure they get they get devices and stuff. They make sure things can work on the most devices possible. They're very anal about that. They make sure that things is going to work for as many people as they possibly can. So I think that they that's why they made it clear. Like, they saw a lot of things, and like, honestly, this is my opinion. I think Veve saw a lot of things that they didn't like about the metaverse, and that's why they made it so clear this is not the Veveverse. I think that's why they made it painfully obvious to say this is not the Veveverse, because they didn't want anybody confusing it. They're like, nah, this ain't our quality. Like, listen, this is a sample, but this is a demo, but it's not the Veveverse. Like, so I think a lot of people were worried about that. That's another thing that I'm not really worried about. We see the quality that they have been delivering from day one. Why would we think, what reason would we have to think that they're going to stray away from the quality that they have been delivering to us from the very beginning? Like, I don't, like, we have no reason to believe that. So I feel like Veve has been proving things ever since they've come out, and people are looking past what they've been proving, what they've been saying, and people are letting fear basically lead them and guide them and then get them upset and things like that. Um, in reality, like even when, like I said earlier in one of my earlier videos, when people were out here saying that, oh, I'm so glad that they didn't show this at Comic-Con. It's like, what? This would have been the greatest thing Comic-Con has ever had there. Like, that, even though it's not up to Veve's standard, it's way better than the last standards of what was at Comic-Con before. It's way better than that one. So that's just really it's a really a bad look how high Veve has set the standards that people don't even realize that that's really good. That was a really good look for Comic Con, and we missed out on it. Like, we definitely missed out on that look. But yeah, man. All in all, that's pretty much my thoughts, man. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. That's pretty much it, yo. I definitely want to know how you all feel. As always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you all on the next one, homies. Peace out, Joe.